Hello guys, this channel will be about events which are happening in Ukraine. My name is Gleb. I'm from the east of the country. Unfortunately, I had to leave my native city, the city of Kharkiv, and move a little bit out west. What I want to do is fill up the gap of understanding what's really happening in Ukraine and provide any person who is interested in the current situation with the Ukrainian perspective. I want to say that I'm no journalist and I'm no military or any other kind expert. I just feel that there is sort of lack of actual information, and since I'm able to speak English, I can broadcast the Ukrainian view on this war. So today is the 23rd of March, the 28th day since Russia invaded Ukraine fully. And Ukrainians don't consider this war as a new war against our country. It's just a new active full-scale intrusion. We have been in the state of war with Russia for 8 years, since Russian Federation annexed the Crimean Peninsula and occupied a big piece of our territory called Donbass, where subsequently created puppet states DPR and LPR in order to hide its invasion. So again, the Ukrainians have been fighting Russia for 8 years, for a long time. And 24th of February was just a new round of this long-time war against our people. As for today, the state of affairs in terms of military situation is not that bad, but not great. The Ukrainian armed forces have been containing the Russian armed forces in all directions of their offensive. So there are four main directions of attack. The first direction, or we can call it the northern direction, includes offensive towards Zhytomyr, Chernihiv, and Kyiv oblasts. The Russians don't have any significant progress there. These days, they are strengthening their positions. They are digging trenches in order to maintain position defense. So the war in this direction is becoming pretty much positional. At the same time, the Russians don't leave the idea of encircling the Kyiv, the city of Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. During their attempt of offensive against Brovary, the city in the east from Kyiv, a couple of days ago, the Russians suffered losses and were stopped. Nevertheless, today they bombed the bridge over the Desna River and completely blocked Chernihiv, home to 300,000 people. The enemy continues to shell localities in this direction, including civilian objects. It is literally happening every day. Also, the Russian aggressors have got control over the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The threat of a new nuclear disaster caused by Moscow is very real. The second direction of Russian offensive is Slobozhanщина region, which is in the northeast of Ukraine. This region includes the cities of Kharkiv, Sumy, Izum. The Russian armed forces aren't conducting any active offensive actions there, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense says. However, the Russians are trying to surround Sumy and Kharkiv, in the meantime shelling the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces as well as the civilian objects. Also, in this direction, the Russians are trying to establish control of Izum. In this region, they are strengthening the grouping of troops. The city of Izum has suffered a lot, as you could see from this video. The third direction is southern. The invasion is coming from the occupied Crimea. Since the beginning of the invasion, the Russian army has had the best territorial progress there. The city of Kherson remains occupied, and the Russian forces are attempting to move towards Mykolaiv and Kryvyi Rih. So far, inconclusively. and the fourth direction, which also can be called Eastern. It includes attack both from Russia and previously occupied Ukrainian territories of Donbass. So far, this direction is the most problematic since Russian troops regrouped and concentrated a big number of fighting force there. The Russian armed forces are trying to break through the defense of the Ukrainian army towards Avdiivka, Rubizhne, and Severodonetsk. The enemy continues to insidiously destroy the infrastructure in the captured cities, launch missile and bomb strikes on peaceful Ukrainian villages and cities, rob, kidnap, and take hostage civilians. For example, 2 days ago, the occupation forces abducted the head of Tsirkuni village council Mykola Sikelenko. Fortunately, he was released from captivity. The most difficult situation is still in Mariupol, the port city situated by the Azov Sea. The city has been under siege since almost the beginning of the invasion. The Russian forces don't allow the humanitarian corridors to work. They are continuously shelling the corridors. Unfortunately, it's not likely that the blockade will be broken soon. Therefore, the humanitarian situation in the city is critical. The civilians are dying because of lack of water, because of hunger, injuries, and of course shelling. Almost all of the local hospitals are ruined, including the maternity home. The people are dying right in the streets. Quite often, there is no possibility to bury the bodies because of continuing shelling. There is also information about common graves in Mariupol. The local authorities can't identify many dead people. They officially stated that the number of the dead is 2,357 people. However, the real numbers are significantly higher. The advisor to the mayor said it could be around 20,000 people. What Russians are doing in Mariupol is called genocide. And we all hope that the International Tribunal to deal with Russian crimes against humanity will take place in the city of Mariupol, where so far they are doing their best to erase the Ukrainian people from the earth. So this is the military environment according to the official military reports and open sources. In addition to all that, it's important to mention that up to 10 million people have fled the Ukraine conflict, including 6.5 million displaced inside the country. And these people very often need help, your help. The Ukrainians will win. We have very strong fighting spirit. We have families and friends to protect. We have our land to save. The Russians have none of it. They will lose. The only question is the price of our victory. Every day it's increasing. If you can and want to help the civilian population of Ukraine, visit the website, the link to which you can find below. If you can and want to help the Ukrainian army, you can donate to a charity fund which buys all needed stuff, including armor, helmets, thermal imagers, and sends it right to the armed forces and territorial defense forces without delays. The link is also below. I'm going to create more videos related to this war and not only. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will definitely answer them. Glory to Ukraine.